So we in the store right now, and got my wife in here helping me. Yeah. So, one, this is about y'all. We're gonna talk about like when we got married. I'm gonna catch her while she working, so she won't have a chance to just really prepare. Okay. So tell them about what God told you about what year you was gonna be married. Like so walk them through that and what you did about your list. She had a list wrote down, and I wasn't doing business then. What was on your list? Like for things that I was name some stuff that was on your list for you what you desire in a husband.
I desired for my husband to love God and the things of God with his whole heart.
Okay.
I desired for him to be a godly man and not just in word but in deed. So, um, because I love God with my whole heart and I wanted to be equally yoked with my husband. And so that was another thing.
Then you have Christian rap on there.
I desired that my husband, one of the indicators, because I was doing a lot. I was a what was it?
DJ T Nate. She worked. She was like a radio station, like a M.
I was a radio station host.
She was a personality.
I was a radio personality.
She was a radio personality. Yeah.
In 2004.
2004.
Yes. I was a radio personality.
So in 2004, she was a radio personality. We knew each other in high school. Well, no, we went to high school together. I didn't know. I just knew she was thick. And that was it. I was 5 foot tall, redhead boy with a book bag that weighed more than me. I was real skinny. She was not skinny.
You was a little man.
Little man. She was a grown woman in high school.
No, I was not.
I was a little man. If I'm a little man, she was she had grown women features in high school.
No,
So both of us got our own truths or something? How we saw it? Because I ain't saying either. So if both of us is, all right. So that is how, so we knew each other in high school. So this is on her list.
So back then we used to call Christian rap holy rap, or holy hip hop, and Christian rap. It had several names, but I was in that arena of people that I was hanging out with in 2004.
2004, way back. See, it done got popular.
So
now.
All these people y'all see, we were pioneers. We are a part of a pioneer group when churches start mildly accepting us into they organizations, but don't preach the gospel to the kids. Just come and rap.
They want you to just be a rap. Like when what's called they told one of the basketball just shut up and dribble. That was kind of like the mindset then. But we speeding up. We'll speed up. We're going to speed up.
I wanted my husband to love me like Christ loved the church. Okay. I wanted his family to love and accept me as a daughter and not a daughter-in-law or a daughter-in-love. And I love my mom and daddy in love. They love me and I love them. And they are a true blessing to my life because I kept hearing horror stories about in-law relationships, and I did not want that for myself, and I knew how to pray for what I wanted, and that's not what I wanted, so that was a part of my prayer.
And so this is stuff that's on her list. So I was not doing business. She had something about business.
I wanted my husband. I didn't even know what an entrepreneur was. And I wrote on my list that I wanted my husband to be an entrepreneur.
And I was not an entrepreneur. You wrote down the list. So let's speed up to 2004. 2004, what happened? 2004. Did God tell you in the beginning of that year you were gonna meet your husband, or what did He tell you that year?
2004. January 2004, at the church that I was attending, we used to do corporate prayer. And that January, the Lord told me that I would, during corporate prayer, that I would meet my husband that year. And so I stood on that word.
She stood on that thing with 2 feet, some steel toe
10
boots,
toes down.
10 toes down with some steel toe Timberlands on. Yeah, she stood on that thing.
And he didn't come until December.
She stood on that thing with concrete. Concrete was around her feet that she wasn't moving off that thing. Yeah.
And there were a lot of counterfeits that came.
So she mentioned the radio station because that was like how we end up meeting again. So we met. So in high school, I knew of her. I had a crush on her, but I was too shy to approach her. Plus, she had a boyfriend. I got a song called "Crush on You." Go and check out the song "Crush on You." I need to put the link up in. I don't even know. I'm about to upload that thing. Okay, so I had a crush on her, so I ain't say nothing to her. No, so she had a boyfriend. So then when I'm working at Walmart, she ended up walking through the store, and at this time, I felt like I had some game. Nah, I wasn't shy no more. So I think probably earlier today, this line had worked on probably 2 other girls. So I was like, okay, she passed by. I was like, hey, how I can get in touch with you? I said just like that. I said, hey, how can I get in touch with you? I lit my lips and everything. Hey, I got in touch with you. She said, what you said? You want me to tell her what you said? You want to tell what you said? She said, tell her what you said.
You can't.
I can't. Her eyes were like that too. I said, God, all rude and disrespectful. You can't be saved.
Real saved with boundaries. Some boundaries.
Yeah.
Not many, but
yeah, not many. But one boundary is when she wasn't gonna cheat. So that was something I could respect. And at the time, if a woman did not talk to me at that time, she told me no. No was no to me. So I didn't take it no other way. Like, okay, I ain't much finna try again. So now I got a manager working at a radio. She's at a radio station, and I got a manager that's managing my music career. And so he goes and take my CD to the radio station that she's a personality at.
He met my co-host.
Huh?
He met my co-host.
I'm saying he took the radio. So he met up with my manager. Met up with her co-host that was at the radio station. So he met up with her. Met up with him and gave him my CD. And my CD didn't have a picture on me or nothing on the front of it, but it was called Unequally Yoked. That was the name.
Red Daddy.
It just had red. Then what was on the front of it said Red Daddy. So that was on the CD, Red Daddy. And I was going by Red Daddy at the time before God changed my name.
Why?
From Saul to Paul. I went from Red Daddy.
Red Daddy, Red Daddy, Daddy.
Red Daddy, Red Daddy, Daddy. Throw balls like a future caddy. Spit words like an automatic. Throw. That was Red Daddy. and so God ended up changing my name because I was doing a show and the pastor started calling me Red Dog. That's beer. So I was like, man, you can't be calling me no Bill. So I changed. So I ended up asking God, like, what should my name be? And so on the calendar, that's a whole nother video. But I had wrote down ready on the calendar. So I'm going to do a whole video just dealing with the name change. Okay. So
Didn't he confirm it through somebody else?
Yes. It added it. Okay. So he took the CD to the radio station. She heard. So after I got the music, what happened?
So we used to listen.
They did something called Keep It, Trash It, or
It was called. We had a segment. This was in 2004, before the Breakfast Club and
before the Breakfast Club.
All this stuff that y'all seeing now.
Yeah.
We had a segment called Trash It or Keep It in 2004. We should have copywritten it, but we ain't know no better. And in the segment with Trash It or Keep It, now we were very carnal. I'll just speak for myself.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
I was carnal and fleshly. So when we would do the segments, it'd be like, if the music wasn't hitting on them, like if it was just something they just was trying their hand at, we did them dirty. Like it'd be like, this might not be the line of ministry that you choose to go in. You might need to like try
join the Ursha board,
something like that.
The welcoming committee.
But this rapping thing ain't this.
They got a whole sofa on top of that car.
This rapping thing ain't meant for you. So we used to say stuff like that. I repented, so there is no condemnation.
And when she say carnal, she's speaking like towards how carnal or how they did the.
It was no filter. It was not in love. It was just
how they did the comments if they didn't like it. Just that.
Yeah, it was raw and uncut.
But so that's my van. Okay, so.
Why is your van going off?
So I got my keys in my pocket. Okay, so get with it. So they got the CD. She got the music, and she ended up liking the song called "Unequally Yoked."
I believe she don't believe.
So we not equally yoked. Mention church or Bible study. She gonna play it show. If you're praying for a mate, you need to be more specific, cause you might get what you pray for. Not so terrific. I believe she don't believe. So we not equally yoked. Mention church or Bible study. She gonna play it show. If you're praying for a mate, you need to be more specific, cause you might get what you pray for. Not so terrific. So that song is what really caught her attention, cause she said no one was
talking about relationships and being equally yoked and having a good relationship, cause the people that I was seeing,
people she was saying, not the people I was saying, but the people she was saying was what?
They was out there getting it. They weren't stunned about no equally yoked relationship. They
didn't care about equally yoked relationships.
Mind you, I was carnal myself.
So that means that she was
not during this season. I had cut all that out.
So she was a virgin. She was a virgin during this season.
I was a born again virgin.
She was a born again virgin during this season. But the problem is when people become born again virgins in the season, they forget that before that season they wasn't, and then they forget after. Then they forget after the born again virgin season when they back out there and still. So it's like
out there. I was waiting.
Okay, so she was waiting. So
I went back out. I was waiting, but I had like 5 counterfeits to come. 5 of them.
So beginning of 2004, when God told you gonna meet your husband. Were you in a relationship with anybody in the beginning of that year when God told you that, and you had wrote your list? So
because I was engaged like that previous year, and I had the Lord told me He wasn't my husband.
Counterfeit. It was a $7 bill.
No, this was
I'm trying to sell some stuff.
He wasn't one of the I guess you can say he was a counterfeit, but during the time, and it was a on again, off again relationship for years, and I can write a book about that. How,
but this
live is not that book.
This
ain't that.
Okay, so now we end up on.
I typically don't like that statement, and I just said it, but okay.
You growing.
Amen.
All right, so now. Where are we? She heard the song. She liked it. So now she want to meet. Who is this guy that's rapping about unequally yoked relationships? Who is this guy?
That guy right today is not that guy that was back then.
No, I'm saying you were asking who. I was moving my shirt. Who is this guy? So she ended up. So she ended up. She ended up like stalking me for a seat. How did you find me?
What?
How did you find me?
Did nobody stalk you? What is you talking about?
I mean, I used the wrong word. How did you locate me?
You started stalking me.
I did, but we talking about before. How did you find me?
I didn't go looking for you.
How did you find me though?
I didn't find you.
So what happened?
Our friend was doing an event, and when he was doing that event, me and his wife were at a women's fellowship, and he's calling us to come get the baby because he had to DJ the event. And that's when I end up seeing you at that event.
So she saw me at that event.
Yeah.
And at that event, I don't know, for some reason I heard the story different. But
what tell me your version of what you think you heard, and I'll correct it.
That you wanted to find out who was rapping about unequally yoked relationships. So you was interested in actually me doing it, hearing me do that song.
How is that stalking?
It's not stalking.
Well,
I used the wrong word.
Well, what is the correct word?
You was thirsty for
Shekere moko rototo shekere moko. Nah.
For the blood of Christ that was
y'all
up
seen
in
that
me.
meme when the little boy, the meme where it's a cartoon, and the little boy, his mom, he be sleeping in bed, and his mama do a cross, like an anointed oil cross on his head, and she hollering and praying in the spirit over him at 2:00 in the morning.
Okay, so she wanted to find out who it was. How she said. So they went and came, but when they came, I didn't do unequally yoked that day. But when I saw her and found out that she wanted to hear that song, I actually added that song to the set because I did not perform it. But I had forgot that I had tried to talk to him.
So what happened was, one of my things on my list is that when my husband saw me, he'll have enough fortitude to talk to me.
Balls.
And he would light up like a Christmas tree when he saw me. So at the event, when I walked in, he was like, hey. I was like, hey, how you doing? What you doing here? A little small talk or whatever. And then it was like,
and she don't like small talk.
She
don't like surface conversation. I should have went in and said, "Are you single? And if you are single, are you sexual? Are you sexually active?" She want me to go. I should have went straight into like not surface stuff, just dig in. Are you a born again virgin? Like I should have just dug in. I was just hey, but now I know I can just go. I can skip that surface stuff and just dive deep up in that thing. Okay.
Pause.
We don't do that pause. I don't do the person can take. Hey, a person can. I don't do that pause stuff. A person can take whatever I'm saying,
that was
nice.
That was
perfect time.
I was on point.
She was on point. But a person can take whatever I'm saying. They can, because I know who I am. I don't have to pause. Don't stop. Make me okay. But so now she at the show. The Holy Spirit had me to forget that I tried to talk to her when she walked by me in Walmart that day.
This going long. What's the ending time?
We're gonna end in a second. We gotta hit on the plan of the wedding, then we're gonna stop this version. So
okay.
They're gonna probably.
So he lit up like a Christmas tree, like I had written down.
My guy Wayne.
Yay! Like I had written down, and so and he lit up like a Christmas tree, but because of the woman I had developed into, I was not going to get any indication that I was interested in him. And he would have to, the word of God says that a man that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor in the eyesight of the Lord. So he needed to pursue me. I was patient enough because I had been waited like a whole year already. That I was gonna wait and be patient,
wait on the Lord,
and see God's promises fulfilled in my life. So, plus I had so many other counterfeits. I ain't know whether he was the one the first night or not.
They know the real. So many counterfeits. She didn't know the real when it was right in her face.
So, he had to seek God about me being his wife.
Yes, I had to seek God. So we're gonna come back and finish part 2. This is part 1. We're going to hit y'all with that part 2. And we about to get up out this boy. But that's just the beginning of how me and my wife met. And then this my guy, Wayne. He been knowing
us since before we got married.
He been knowing us since before we got married. But all right, y'all.